How can young people best prepare themselves for work?
Within the leisure industry, you sort of fall into two categories, if you like. So you've got the guys that do specialist things like personal trainers and lifeguards, and they need to have professional qualifications to be able to do their job. So obviously they do the requisite training to be able to fulfill that role. And then we also have jobs like working in the cafe and working just as a general assistant, where you get all of your training on site. So therefore qualifications aren't so important. They're nice to have, and you know it's great when people have got them, but you don't need to have them to be able to start within the industry.
What are the minimum qualifications needed to work in companies in your sector?
Well, you can start at all different levels. So if you take myself, I'm a general manager, so I run a club. And actually, I've never worked in leisure before, and I actually worked for Asda for a long time before I worked for David Lloyd. So actually, my grounding, if you like, in retail helped me move into the industry that I'm in now, because there's similarities. Whereas somebody that maybe just works in the cafe or something may have had previous experience in a similar sort of role, but there's no particular entry level. It's more about attitude and behaviour that will, whether we'll take that person on to work for us rather than qualifications or jobs that they've done.
What are the most important employability skills?
I think for a young person, what's really, really important is that you have the right attitude. So whenever I'm interviewing somebody, yes, it's important that you've got somebody that's got qualifications and those sorts of things, but actually what I'm looking for is somebody that's got a very good attitude in terms of very enthusiastic, very passionate about the job they're going to do, somebody that understands a little bit about customer service in terms of how to treat people, because obviously we deal with 6,000, 7,000 people in my club a month. So those sorts of behaviours are really, really important. And then you look at things like qualifications, and another thing that I always look at as well is for example, has that person done any sort of extra activities outside of school? And have they stuck at it? So did they join the guides and follow it all the way through, or did they jump out of it after a few months and didn't really get involved? Because that's a good indicator whether someone's going to be sticking to their job and not just leave after a couple of months. Because when you're employing people, one of the things you have to consider is how long that person's going to work for you. And you don't want these people to come and go all the time, because you don't have a stable workforce.
What are the routes into your career? A-levels, colleges, training?
So if I just take myself as an example, I did my O-levels, didn't do very well actually, had to go back to college and retook them as GCSE. Funny enough, it was the very last year they had O-levels and changed to GCSE. So I then had to go to college to retake my GCSEs, which I managed to pass first time round. I then started doing my A-levels because when I was a kid I wanted to be a PE teacher. That's what I wanted to do. But unfortunately, I started working at a supermarket and gave it up. So I'm not a very good example, if you like, of following through on education. But what I did do is what I did when I went to work and I started working is I always made sure that I went on all the available training courses that were available to me. Every time my boss gave me an opportunity to do something different, I took it. And that way I built my career from working within the organisation and just carry on like that.
Do people stay in your company and progress, or do they need to move to further their career?
Within David Lloyd, one of the reasons why I joined David Lloyd was because of the long service that a lot of people have. So, I know lots of people in David Lloyd that work for David Lloyd well over 10, 15 years. And I think what that's good about a company like that is it means it gives you confidence that you can build your career within one company without having to jump from company to company. However, sometimes you do have to move on. I suppose it's about doing the right thing for you in terms of your career. So I always encourage people to have a plan, have a 3-5 year plan of what you want to achieve in your career, and challenge your company to help you achieve it, as well as obviously pushing yourself to achieve it. Get them to help you, and if they don't and they can't meet your expectations, then of course you have to consider whether that's the right place to work for you, so that you get what you want out of your career. Otherwise, when you're a bit older like me, you end up thinking, I didn't get what I wanted. So that would be my advice to you, if you like.
What would a typical day be like, and what would I be involved in?
So if you take my position to start with, then my day is very varied. As the general manager, I'm looking after the whole club. So I'll get in the morning, I'll get a cup of coffee, and I'll walk around the club and say hello to all the members that are in early in the morning. I will walk around the club to look at things like standards and cleaning and hygiene, and just make sure the club is ready for the day so that everyone who comes to the club is going to get an enjoyable time. I hold meetings throughout the day with my managers to talk to them about their performance and their progress in their jobs and how they're doing and what are the actions they're taking that week to move my business forward. I spend time with members, talking to members about their issues with the club and the things they like and the things they don't like. So I tend to sort of dip in and out of lots of different things throughout the day. If you're a PT, you have the best job in the world, if you like, because you get one-to-one time with a member for an hour, coaching them and training them to get the most out of their exercise program. So, because you're a specialist and because you're qualified to do it, you're able to instruct people on how to use nutrition and to use exercise to lose weight, to become more fit, but they also get involved in the running in the gym day to day. So they'll be involved in things like cleaning the gym equipment. They'll be involved in things like just making sure that young members are okay when they're in the gym because they can only be in there at a certain age. So they have a very varied job, but their primary focus is around their personal training to ensure that each member that has personal training gets the most out of it.